Hello everyone, how are you all? Today on Scottish Memories, I am chatting to West End leading lady Ashleigh Gray. How are you all? Hope you are all happy and healthy and safe out there wherever you are. Just before we get started, if you haven't already, please remember to hit that subscribe button. It really would genuinely mean the world to me. But I am really excited today because I am chatting to West End leading lady and local girl Ashleigh Gray. Ashleigh has appeared in some of the most iconic shows of all time. Before lockdown, Ashleigh was just getting started playing Raquel in the musical adaptation of the classic British sitcom Only Fools and Horses. However, Ashleigh has appeared in some of the most incredible shows, including Taboo, the George Michael musical, Grease, Cool Rider, the adaptation of the movie Grease 2, Nativity, not to mention playing Elphaba in the smash hit musical Wicked in the West End and on its first ever UK tour. Ashleigh, hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm brilliant. Thank you so much for doing this. It means the world to me that you can take the time to chat to me.
Pleasure. I'm looking forward to it.
So how have you been anyway? Are you happy and healthy and well and everything?
I'm as well as can be expected, I suppose. You know, I have those days where I go, actually, it's okay to just sit in your bed and cry for an hour because, you know, everything, life is, as I knew it, has just kind of disappeared. But no, I've been really good and just trying to stay focused and, you know, I've started a new business and everything in this lockdown. So I've just kind
That's
of
cool. Good.
I've started Crafty Ashleigh. So I used to be the person, I say annoying person, but I'm sure everyone really liked it. When I did shows and stuff, if it was people's birthdays, I would bake them a cake or I'd make them something. I've always been very crafty. And obviously at the start of this pandemic, my dad and several of my other older family members were in the kind of vulnerable you know, shielding kind of stage, so I made them some face masks and I made some for myself, my husband, and everyone was like, these are really good, you should sell them. And I was like, oh really? Anyway, started an Etsy shop and it's just gone bananas, absolutely bananas. So yeah, it started off face masks, but now I'm doing key rings and bags and all sorts of stuff. So it's really good because it's kind of keeping me creative and letting me work from home and just kind of keep a bit of money coming in, I suppose, to try and survive. But
It's funny because my wife actually bought our masks off Etsy, so I'm going to have to go and check.
Could be me. Are they talking?
If it wasn't actually you that we got our masks from. Just to dive in right away, you're a Midlothian girl?
I am, yeah. Well, actually, I'm a Fifer originally.
All right.
I was born in Fife, yeah, and lived in Dalgety Bay until I was about 4 or 5, and then moved to sunny Knitting in Midlothian, yeah. So yeah, originally a Fifer, and I'm the only Fifer in my family, so they all constantly remind me of that when I've been naughty. I'm the naughty one.
There's something really Scottish about the name Dalgety Bay. I don't know what it is. But whenever I hear it, I was like, Dalgety Bay. All right, yep. Yes.
But I mean, you're going to notice as we kind of talk, my accent fluctuates like nobody's business because I've lived away from Scotland longer than I was ever in there. So I'm doing my best Scottish accent for you. My sister will be wetting herself when she watches this. She came to see me do a show and I was doing a Scottish accent. She was like, nice try at the accent, Ash, nice try. But always when I'm speaking to Scottish people it comes out more. But yeah, I've lived down here for much longer than I was at home.
I went to college in London. I was a Mountain View lad.
All right.
And when I remember in my flatmates I'd phone home and they'd go, you see when you're on the phone, no idea what you're saying. No idea. And then I get off the phone and then, you know, you'd have to soften it a little bit for people to understand.
I think what mine was a combination of that, of getting so fed up of people saying, sorry, with that kind of softening. But also, I've never worked in my own accent. You know, I've done one show that I was Scottish in, and you know, you're always doing RP, or you're doing Cockney, or you're doing anything. So I guess just over, you know, 20 years, of course, it just starts to slowly go. But I'm the same. As soon as I talk to my mum and dad, I'm like, "Hi, Nate, how's it going?"
It's funny. I can hear little bits. I can hear little bits coming in. Worked came out very Scottish when you said it there. I can hear little bits. But I was chatting to Ian Buchanan a few weeks ago, and he's been in LA for years now. And obviously, when he started talking to me, it was very American, and then gradually, I could hear the odd little Scottish twang coming in. So, you know, it happens to everyone. Happens to the best. Do you get back up here very often?
I do try to. I mean, obviously, when I'm in a long contract, it's kind of difficult because, you know, you get those holiday weeks from big year-long contracts and you immediately want to go and lie on a beach somewhere, and there aren't many beaches in Scotland. But no, I do try and get back as often as I can. And actually, I've been back twice in the last 2 months, just as a kind of escape to get away and get back up there, which has been really, really lovely. I feel like I've refound Scotland again. I know that sounds really weird, but you know, I was very fortunate kind of growing up that we did travel a lot about Scotland. You know, my parents are, God, they're absolutely bonkers. They're the kind of people that I vividly remember being young and going to sleep in my own bed, and I woke up in the morning outside Euro Disney in Paris in the car. Like, they just drove through the night to get to me. But that was our holiday. You know, a Sunday we'd all get in the car and we'd drive up to Inverness, or we'd, you know, they're always, and they love the Highlands and that. And it's funny because I vividly remember my mum kind of looking out of the windows going, "Oh, girls," me and my sister in the back, "look at the beautiful scenery." And, you know, we used to go, "Yeah, Mum, yeah, whatever." And we used to really take the mickey out of her. But see, now, I don't know whether it's because I don't live there anymore and I don't see it all the time, but being back there these past couple of weeks, I literally turned into my mum. I was like, "Oh my God, this is beautiful." But also, my husband's from the West Midlands, and I mean, he's more Scottish than I am. I think he's more passionate about Scotland. He's a photographer, and so he's like, "Yeah, let's get up to the Highlands and let's do stuff." So I'm almost rediscovering Scotland through his eyes, which is really, really lovely.
There's nothing wrong with that at all, because I mean, obviously with the channel here, I'm always looking for things to learn and to show people about Edinburgh and Scotland and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm constantly rediscovering it. I'm constantly learning things all the time, and it's amazing. It's a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
What you were saying about as a kid, looking at the views and your parents going, you reminded me of a Billy Connolly thing where he was talking about bringing his kids back to Scotland and going, "Look, kids, look, that's a view," and they're like, where? No, you see hills and the sun and the loch, and that's nice. That you have to teach them that's nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's funny. I'm definitely my mum's getting her payback now, because she's like, "See, I told you this is nice." So yeah.
You kind of beat me to the punch on my next question. I was going to say, did you get to explore it a lot when you were a kid? But obviously you did. You must have travelled all over the place then.
We did, and you know, we had our kind of favourite haunts that we used to go back to all the time. So like from me being a baby, and you know, I vividly remember we used to go to a log cabin every New Year in Invergary, so kind of just north of Fort William. And it was this lovely, there was just 4 log cabins on this hillside, and it was attached to like a farm, and there was this lovely man, Roy and Jenny, they ran the farm, and they basically let out these 4 cabins. And again, I don't know how my parents found it. They probably just went on a run one day and found this cabin, but we used to go there every New Year. So Christmas Day we'd have it home with all the family, then New Year's Day we'd go up to my aunties and uncles who are in like Edsall, kind of Montrose kind of area, and then we'd head up to Invergary for that week, you know, after Christmas, and seeing the new year there. And just as a kid to kind of explore, you know, Glengarry and all those places, and just walk for miles. And the log cabins were just so picturesque, and there was a little Shetland pony that you had to feed, and you know, the farm, we used to go down, and at 4 o'clock was feeding time, and so you'd go down and milk the goats and everything. I mean, it's not like that now. It's like owned by Whole Seasons Holidays or something like that, you know. And I don't even know. I'm sure the farm probably is still working. Sadly, Roy, who used to run it, sadly passed away. But you know, my parents kept in touch with these people, and yeah, they went back there every year. So I vividly remember being up north a lot, but also exploring, you know, kind of around us. We've got like, I remember my grandparents picking me up from school on a Friday afternoon, and we'd go camping for the weekend in the granites, what we call the granites, which is actually the Moorfoot Hills, kind of between Midlothian and the back road to like Peebles and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we'd just, you know, leave school on a Friday and end up in the caravan, and that was us for the whole weekend until we went back to school on the Monday. So yeah, we kind of travelled and explored a lot as kids. I think we were more outdoors than we were indoors, I think.
That's incredible. That sounds brilliant. So
yeah, I mean, well, it's when I look now at, like, you know, some of my younger cousins who are sitting on the PlayStation or sitting, I mean, times have changed, obviously, but you know, that was never us on a Sunday. On a Sunday, we were nowhere to be seen from our house. We were up, you know. And like I said, it wasn't just round the corner. We'd be up to, you know, Inverness and above the Black Isle in a day and then back down again, which is like, you know, 8 hours travelling or stuff. But that was just what we did. That was the Gray way.
that's amazing. That sounds absolutely. And I suppose, well, again, being such a small country like we are, geographically sort of thing, well, in lots of ways, but it is quite easy for us to jump in the car and say, let's just go there. And you can do it in a day. It might not be comfortable, but you can do it in a day if you really wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, much like what you do on your channel, also my dad always says, you know, you'll never get a better holiday than in Edinburgh, you know. And more often than not, we'd go into Edinburgh for the day, especially around the times of the festival, like just walking up and down the Royal Mile and seeing all the sights and seeing all the, I remember people saying, like, you know, when the Edinburgh Festival comes to Edinburgh, all the people from Edinburgh move out. And I don't know if that's true, because we used to just love going and seeing all the sights and people watching. I mean, that was a huge thing.
I think it's probably is. I mean, we've missed it this year. It's been a ghost town up here this year. When it hit August, it felt, for someone who loves the festival and goes all the time, and I'd say it's probably about a 50-50 split in Edinburgh. People hate it, but I suppose you could say that about anything. But yeah, it was missed this year. It was really missed this year for a lot of people, and businesses as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How many businesses. Have you played the festival?
I have. I played it as a kid a couple of times. I did Annie, of course, a staple child musical.
You can probably usually always find Annie, Little Shop of Horrors, and Hair somewhere at the Edinburgh Festival.
Yeah, so I did Annie as a kid, and I did The Railway Children, a new musical version of that. But I think I've only done it once as a professional. I think, I did the Pleasance, and I did Only You Can Save Mankind, the Terry Pratchett musical, so based on his book. And it was amazing because he came, and you know, we worked with him. And the Pleasance Courtyard is just a cracking venue.
I love the Pleasance Courtyard.
I forget which, because there's different numbers and stuff. I forget which one we were in, but that whole thing of the festival of, you know, you get in, there's been a show on before you, you've got 5 minutes to get your set ready and get your costumes done, and then you finish the show, and then it's like, right, everybody get everything out ready for the next show. Like the buzz of that, and being in the courtyard as well, you know, then you finish a show and then you just walk across the courtyard and watch something else amazing, somebody else doing stuff. Yeah, I love the festival. It's so cool, really cool.
It is unique. I mean, you'll know what it's like. When I was younger and I was a jobbing actor, I'm one of these people that's had a million different jobs, as you will have. And I went one year, I was a venue manager for Assembly.
Right.
For the festival. It's when they took over George Square. And that back-to-back shows. I remember us doing the tech rehearsals for all the shows, trying to get the change and everything. It is just proper, full on. We'd have Paul Daniels there 1 minute, and all he had was a platform and a stage, and next, generally just a table doing everything. And the next minute, we've got to change it all to a complete background of someone's bedroom, and it's like, we've got 20 minutes, go!
Go!
You just want to have some sort of theme tune. You head going dan 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 dan.
It was like Challenge Annika every hour on the hour. You were doing
really
something.
Is, but there's nothing like it. There really isn't anything like it. So one of your coming up in tour, and you've obviously toured all over the country with some of the biggest shows in the world. I mean, most notably, obviously, Wicked.
Yeah.
We're playing Elphaba. When you come up, is there any places that you go, oh, I'm so glad we're playing there. I love going there.
Well, I mean, it's always nice to come back to Edinburgh, and as a kid or as a teen, I used to go to the Playhouse all the time to watch all the shows. Phantom, Les Mis. I saw all those shows for the first time in that auditorium, and I had never played it on all the other shows that I'd done until Wicked. Wicked was the first time that I played the Playhouse, and
wow.
I still remember to this day that first day walking out onto that stage and seeing the reverse angle of what I'd seen for all those years. It's such a beautiful theatre, and incredible to come back and play that role in that theatre, because again, like you, I left Scotland to kind of pursue this dream and this career, and I left when I did because I wanted to do musical theatre. That's what I'd always wanted to do. And
I trained musical theatre as well. I was exactly
And when I was young, there wasn't the degree courses in music in Glasgow or in Scotland that there are now, thankfully. So I almost had to, if I wanted to aim for the West End, I knew that I had to make the leap and go down. So that's hard when you're 17, and I remember I cried all the way down, all the way down the road. We drove down with a caravan, I think, because my parents, again, were just going to go for a wee holiday after they dropped me off.
Just went, let's move you down today. Chuck it all in. Let's go. Come on.
It was, but the caravan was piled with just boxes of all of my stuff that was going down. And I remember sitting in the back of the car and just sobbing my heart out, silently, and I remember my dad saying to me, we can go back, we'll turn back. And I was like, no, I really want to go. But the fear of leaving your family and what you knew, and again, Scotland is wonderful in so many ways, but that kind of community feel that I had in Newton Grange, because it's only a tiny small mining village, everybody knows everybody. You go to the shop and you're like, hi, how you doing? Everyone's lovely. To go from that to, it was Guildford, but essentially London, where you just walk, strangers just passing you on the street won't even look at you. It was really daunting as a 17-year-old. So I was really kind of quite nervous about going down there. But what's bad about leaving it is that I didn't get to perform much for my friends and family back in Scotland. So when I did do tours and they went back to Edinburgh and stuff, it was just so lovely to be able to share, look, this is the reason I left, and this is what I'm kind of trying to do, and this is what I'm achieving. And so to kind of go back to Wicked and come and go, right, this is me, this is the role I've always wanted to play, this is XYZ, and to share that with my friends and family was just amazing. It was really, really special.
Sorry, my dogs are barking in the background. It is, hopefully they don't wake up Lillian, because that'll throw everything.
No.
Fortunately, she's sleeping through the dogs right now, thankfully. I've had, obviously, it was one of my regrets when I was with that I never got to play Edinburgh. And I was the same as you. Edinburgh Playhouse was where my dad, mum and dad always used to take me, but I have stood on the stage. It is a view, isn't it? It really is a view.
It's incredible. It really is.
I keep trying to make a point of letting everyone know, this is the largest city theatre in Europe. You don't know it, but it is. It's in Edinburgh. It's here. It's over 3,000 seats. this is the theatre you want to play.
Yeah, I mean, and there was something about, like, when you're on stage, you know, and the lights are on, you can maybe sometimes only see the first, second row of people just from the overspill of the thing. But the end of Act 1 in Wicked, when she flies, the lights do this kind of sweeping out across the audience, and I honestly, being up there and seeing the lights, and then suddenly you just saw all those 3,000 faces just like looking in amazement and spectacle at this theatrical moment, was just like, you know, it's mind-blowing. It really, really was. Really was.
I'm jealous. I'm proper jealous. I really am. I mean, I don't think the beard would work for Elphaba, but yeah, it might.
No, maybe not.
I know this is slightly off the subject as well, about Scotland things, but you know, you're Guildford lass, Mount View lad. There's a friendly rivalry there between those two.
Well, I wasn't going to pick it up, Tony, but yes, there is.
And the very first, I remember, this is completely off the subject, the very first job I ever did was at the Yvonne Arnold, my first
yeah.
job. I did panto there, and the majority of the cast were Guildford, and then me. And we had a proper banter between them. And that was 2000. That was a while ago now. But yeah,
oh wow,
it was a proper wee.
Oh, I love the Yvonne Arno, and I did my first. I guess it was probably my first professional job, because I was in my second year at Guildford, and they used the Guildford students as ensemble, so we were getting paid to do, like, I mean, it was like 40 shows a day. It was horrific, the schedule. That's the only show that I've ever done, actually, that before the curtain comes down, before you've even taken your bow on the first show, you're getting a half-hour call for the next one. And I was like, this is not good. But that was amazing. Yeah, the Yvonne Arno panto with Rula Lenska I had in my one. Yeah, good days.
Peter Bowles, Sam Kelly.
Oh, Sam Kelly.
Yeah.
Lovely. He was one of the wizards in the West End Wicked. Such a gorgeous man.
Yeah. I just play some art. He made a point of going, come on, let's go talk to your dad. My dad came down to visit. He was lovely.
Oh.
Because we grew up watching Allo with him.
Yeah.
Completely off the subject. Anyway. So when you are, you come up and you do all these sort of things, but if someone was going to come for the first time they were going to come to Scotland, what would you tell them to do? What top tips do you have?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, I think Edinburgh has so much going for it, and it's relatively small. Like, you can walk places in Edinburgh, and so I always tell people it's like that thing of when my mum first came down to London. She used to get on the tube from Covent Garden to Leicester Square, and I'd be like, Mum, the tube is less than 30 seconds. It's literally a walk and you'll see stuff. But, to walk up to the castle and down through Princess Street Gardens and stuff, it's so funny, because that's all that stuff that, we can take for granted. Like when I lived there, I remember before I left, I did like a temping job in an accountancy thing in Castle Terrace, like a summer kind of internship type thing. And I used to get on the bus from Newton Grange. This was before they reopened the trains now, which obviously they have, and the trains go all the way through to the borders, which has been amazing. But I used to get on the bus, and it would drive all the way along to the West End, and I'd go get a McDonald's muffin or something in the morning and just sit in the gardens. And I mean, when I think back on it now, to just sit up overlooking over the castle and the Waverley and everything, it's incredible. And then I'd go to work and then walk back through it. But yeah, Edinburgh, even though I'm not from there originally, it's where I consider my home when people ask me, where I'm from. Well,
being completely honest, when you were going round about, if you talked to somebody who's not from Scotland, you went Newton Grange, they'd go, But
yeah. Although Newton Grange, it's the home of the National Mining Museum. So people do know about it. So, it's always that funny thing. You say, oh, I'm from Edinburgh. Oh, whereabouts? Well, actually, I'm from 10 miles south of Edinburgh. Oh, whereabouts? Dalkeith, that's right. And then, suddenly people know the places that you're talking about. I love that when that happens down here. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Have you seen my house? It's just there. So obviously Edinburgh and exploring that, and any top tips for anyone want to go up north? Because obviously, like you said, you've not the day trip.
Yes. Well, we have, but also, in this last week. So again, I said about my parents going to Invergary every year. Another place that they go to kind of in the summer is they take their caravan up to Alnwick, which is just south of Fort William.
All right.
If you're coming up the A82 and you go through Glencoe, I mean, just go to Glencoe. I mean, that is the only place you ever need to go. It's just so beautiful. But and again, I was reminded of that by driving up with my husband in this summer, and him just being like, my God, this is amazing. And those were the times where I'd sit in the back of the car and go, yeah, it's lovely, or, whatever. But no, amazing. But yeah.
Kids had said, if your parents had said when you were a kid, massacre, there was a massacre there, you'd go, oh, really? Not look at the view, they go, massacre. Oh, right, okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, but mine's also went with a bit of this is probably where I get it from, but with a bit of a song, my mum would go, oh yeah, Battle of Glencoe, oh who was the snow that's where, and she'd sing the song about the battle, so we'd get the singing history of everywhere that we went. But that kind of drive up, and then you hit Calendar, and then the A82, Crianlarich, all the way up through there, Ballachulish, then Alnwick is the next place that you hit. So this caravan site, I say caravan site, it is a caravan site, but it's got no facilities. So it's got no electricity, no toilet block or anything. It's essentially just a strip of land on Loch Linnhe, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So that's where I've been escaping to over the last couple of months.
That's lovely.
My parents stealing my parents' caravan and just taking it up there.
Taking their weekends away from them. What are you doing?
I know. Well, we had. I mean, in the first time we went up, actually, my mum and dad came up, and it was nice because I hadn't seen them probably this year, actually. Probably saw them for Christmas, and then I started a new job in February of this year. Great timing. I opened Only Fools and Horses, yeah, and I opened in mid-February, I think. And my mum and dad always were the people that go, we want to be there for your opening night, and I used to go, Mum, but it's never ready for opening night, and try and put them off. So I did put them off on this one, and I said, no, wait until I get myself into the role and all that sort of stuff. So of course we waited, and then we closed on the 16th of March, so they still hadn't seen it, which I keep getting an earful about. Anyway, that side.
From now on, you'll never be able to stop them from going to the opening night.
I know. It's pandemic, but a lot to answer.
Pandemic, we're coming.
Yeah, so I hadn't seen them this year, I don't think. So we actually had a lovely, the first week of our holiday, they were in the caravan and we were in a tent in the awning. But then we'd go off and, we spent a day, we went across the Corran Ferry onto Ardnamurchan, all the way up there, then up to Arisaig, Mallaig, which is just so beautiful. Again, that's the kind of thing.
Beautiful.
My parents had said, oh, you've never seen the beautiful silver sands at the top of Scotland. And I'm like, no, there aren't beaches in Scotland. Don't talk nonsense. And I saw them with my very eyes this summer. So I'm a true believer now.
I've never seen them in person, but from chatting, having been lucky enough to chat to people like yourself, the amount of people that have said that right up the top, there are beaches that just look like the Bahamas. And I'm like, no, apparently there really is.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been the top. I mean, I'm sure I have as a kid in the back of the car, but I can't remember it. But certainly up the west coast, I'm terrible with my north, south, east, west. Never eat shredded wheat, always. Up that's
brilliant. I've never heard that before. That's brilliant.
Never eat shredded wheat, always. Arisaig, and between Arisaig and Mallaig is this kind of little bit of coastal. And it was a bit of a shame that I saw it when I did, because apparently when it's not pandemic time and everyone in their camper van are there bumper to bumper lined along the beach, spoiling it a little bit, when it's, you know, in its old natural beauty and you can see over to Egg and all that sort of stuff, it's like beautiful. But I mean, it was stunning, and the sunset, I mean, it's like the whole thing that romance novels are written about is that part of Scotland. It's just so beautiful. And so we've kind of been looking into it more since we came back, and I think we want to try and do the 500, you know, and follow it all the way around and see even more splendor.
I know, it's kind of right now that a lot of people have talked about the 500, and since they sort of set it up, I don't think they realised how popular it was going to be, because it's at first it was kind of like nice, and now, well, not now obviously, but generally I think it's really quite busy now. It's really popular.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. It's nice to get people up to these parks.
It is a good thing. I think where the locals are struggling, from kind of speaking to people up there, it's people coming and leaving their rubbish and, you know, all that horrible stuff that why would you ever do that? So you can understand why people have been upset that, you know, people are coming there, but great that they are. I just think that they don't have the facilities to support the volume of people that have been coming this year in particular.
Yeah,
but
I think,
hopefully, you know,
they just didn't realise how popular it was going to be, which, you know, they hopefully they can catch up with themselves a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, the amount of friends that I know from down here, you know, I've seen on their Instagram, here I am in Glencoe, you know, the set of Skyfall, and I'm like, everybody's going to Scotland now. I think the whole staycation thing, you know, if you want to go somewhere that's beautiful and magnificent looking, then the Highlands are the place, aren't they?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Have you done the? Me and my wife did it 4 years ago. We got it as an engagement present. The train. It's really going to annoy me now. The Harry Potter train, and it's not
the Jacobite.
The Jacobite.
I haven't, but that was one of the places that we visited on our trip. So Glenfinnan, which is the viaduct, the Harry Potter viaduct. We went there to kind of see it. We didn't see the train, unfortunately, but no, I'd love to do the steam train though. Was it good?
It really is beautiful. We got it as an engagement present from my wife's best friend. And we went into it. So, you know, you're at Fort William, which is, you get a day at Fort William as well, which is lovely.
Yes.
And then we did the train, and you're up and back in a day, because it's not long. It's only a couple of hours one way and a couple of hours back.
Yeah.
But just the views, the entire way up, even if it's raining, it still looks beautiful. Obviously, everyone goes mental when you go for the viaduct.
Yeah.
Like, truthfully, if you look out the window, all you can see is arms with cameras out the window when you're doing it. But at the same time, it is beautiful. It is lovely. So if you have a chance, definitely you've got to do that.
Do you know? I think there's my eyes have obviously been open to it now, and funnily enough, there was a program on Channel 4 or something the other night about the Scottish rail network, like things like the Jacobite, and there's another one that goes through like the Balmoral estate, and you know, there's one that you can actually go and drive the steam train. So I mean, I've never been a train enthusiast in my life, but now I'm like, this is really cool. I mean, we used to go across, I suppose I don't really remember it because being so young, but when I lived in Fife, I assume I must have gone across the Forth Rail Bridge at some point on a train.
Yeah.
But that's a really cool thing to do as well. And I think one of the old steam trains goes across there as well. It looks like a great day.
It was great as well, because even before you got on it, you know, everyone was taking their time and going up and down and getting a look at the whole train. And the engineers, train engineers, were just letting kids come in to the bit, because it's all open. It's, you know, traditional open. It's not shut. It's good. Yeah, and you come get a picture, hold the shovel.
Oh.
It was brilliant. It was a lot, even just before you did. There was so many people there that weren't even going on the train. Just getting their pictures, and the kids getting to get a picture, and the engineers, and you come. There's my hat. Go on, and you go. Look at it.
Oh, lovely.
It was really worth the trip. If you ever get the chance, it's really worth the trip.
Yeah.
It's time for my hard questions now, though. This is a difficult question. This is the one that everyone's hates. So you ready?
Oh no, gosh.
Yeah. Shortbread or tablet?
Oh, tablet.
Oh, that was quick.
No, I mean, yeah. Now I'm doubting myself, but yeah. No, tablet. We made tablet as our favours for our wedding last year, actually.
Right, okay.
Yeah, love tablet. But my auntie does make excellent shortbread.
It was awful.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, I'll let you into a little secret. We made tablet for our wedding favours, and because we got married in Edinburgh, we got married in Dundas Castle, just in South Queensferry.
Lovely.
And I because I'm crafty, made all of our wedding decorations, all the bunting and all the candles and everything. We made them all, and so we used to take them up in kind of installments to the house, to my mum and dad's in Newton Grange. And I made the tablet and I took it up, and they kept it in their cupboard that had heated flooring, and the tablet went off. Cut to 2 days before the wedding, making a lot more tablet. Literally.
We get that's set up for the wedding there, doing that. Really.
Yeah, I know. Looked great.
That's the one bit we didn't realise when we tried to make it. I just didn't realise how, because obviously my granny used to make it all the time. I never realised how much stirring. And my wife still laughs at it now. She's like, "That was lovely souplet you made." It tasted like tablet, but you had to eat it with a spoon.
Yeah, no, but tablet's still my favourite.
Haggis, neats and tatties, or mince and tatties?
Oh, do you know what? Vegetarian haggis. I'm not a veggie, but I much prefer vegetarian haggis to normal haggis. And I just do love the spices. Yeah. Because, and also another thing that you have up there that we don't have down here, white pudding. In the fish and chip shop, white pudding supper. That was actually my treat when I was doing Wicked at the Playhouse. Every Saturday night, bless him, my dad used to drive me into the Playhouse and come and pick me up every day. And since then, he's now known as Taxi Man. That's what I call him, because he used to come, and anyway. But on a Saturday night, we'd phone ahead to Mario's, our local chip shop, and say, "Put me a white supper pudding on, I'll be there in 10 minutes. So white pudding. But yeah, so vegetarian haggis, I suppose, is the closest to that. So I'll go with vegetarian.
Next time you come back up to Edinburgh, I've featured them on the channel. They're not a sponsor or anything. They're just, I've became friends with them, and they are generally getting a reputation for the best haggis in town. Veggie as well. It's called the Haggis Box.
Okay.
It is beautiful. It is stunning.
Oh,
Their whiskey sauce is incredible. Right now, they've just started taking over the cafeteria inside the John Knox and Storytelling Centre on the Royal Mile.
Oh, okay.
They're just there now, but you'll see them about the place. They dot up all over the place. If you ever see it, you've got to try it.
The Haggis Box, I will try that.
Tell them the Broonford sent you, and then they'll be like,
I will tell them.
Okay, Iron Brew or whiskey?
Iron Brew. I love an Iron Brew.
As well, either. I like someone who's decisive.
Well, I'm not a bit, if I have whiskey, it has to have lemonade in it, and I know that's awful. But yeah, I'm not a huge whiskey drinker, but Iron Brew all day long.
Yeah. Are you one of these people that can taste the difference since they changed the recipe?
Well, again, not really.
No, I can't.
No, not really. I mean, there is something about it coming out of a glass bottle as opposed to a plastic bottle. I do feel that. But I was quite fond of the spicy one, the ginger one that they brought out. You know, they did like an Iron Brew with like a ginger infusion.
I don't think I tried it. I don't remember.
Oh, it was really nice. Or the Iron Brew X. Is it X?
Yeah.
Or Mighty or something like that.
Extra sugar.
Yeah, even more.
They've got up here right now. I don't know if you probably must have it down south as well, because I do remember always finding Iron Brew down south. Iron Brew 1901 right now, which is it's the original recipe, or as close as they can still do to the original recipe. So you've got the recipe now, which is got way less sugar because of the sugar tax and everything now, and they've also got Iron Brew 1901, so they've got it, and then you can go, but if you want to pay a little bit extra, you can still get it out.
Oh, interesting.
It's only ever in the big glass bottles.
Oh, yeah, you can't beat that. You can't beat it. Well, do you know there's only
a bit of that Scottish sneaking in there as well? I like it.
Do you know there's only 2 people in the world know the recipe to Iron Brew? Again, I've been watching a lot of telly during lockdown. There was a documentary on the Iron Brew factory, and it's only the man and his daughter that know it.
Right.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that is incredible.
I'm useless at secrets, so I wouldn't be. Don't tell me it. Everybody would know.
This is one, obviously, being from where in Scotland you're roughly from, I can ask you this one. Chippy sauce, yes or no?
Yes, all day long, chippy sauce.
Do you miss it? Do you miss it down south?
Oh, I really miss it. I really miss it. And actually, when I was at college, when I was at Guildford, again, Mario's our local chippy, used to sell it in big bottles, and I used to just take them back down to Guildford with me. I remember my friends going, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's chippy sauce," and trying to explain what it is. Because to be honest, I don't even know if I know what it is. It's like a brown sauce with a vinegary.
Sauce and the white vinegar mixed together, I think.
Great.
Yeah, my chippy as well, used to be the same, and it was glass bottles, glass juice bottles. They they take off the label of whatever it was, make it up, and then sell it on their shelves, like a pound a bottle, like chippy sauce.
Oh, God. Do you know what? Do you remember when you used to take the bottles back for things? So my mum and dad, this is going back again off the subject, but my mum and dad were both ice cream van drivers when I was growing up. I mean,
cool.
Best childhood ever. Yeah, my dad used to work. He was an engineer at the brewery in Edinburgh, and then he had a motorbike accident, sadly, and had his arm is kind of steel pinned, so he couldn't do that anymore. So he kind of, when we were moving between Fife and Newton Grange, which is where my grandparents were, my dad used to work at Dobson's, which was the local ice cream vans, and he used to drive the ice cream vans. And then I think my mum, when I mean, I'm maybe misremembering it, I'm sure I'll find out, when she had my sister, and then, you know, between maternity leave and all that kind of stuff, she got a van as well. So there was moments where my sister was on the van with my mum and I was on the van with my dad, and we'd go around locally. But people used to bring the bottles back, and you'd give them, you know, 20p or whatever it is. Imagine if you took the bottle and you got chippy sauce back. How good would that have been?
Oh my God, yes. I
That
think
would have been a good trade.
the bottles back is something they're starting to try to bring back in. So obviously, recycling wise,
Yeah, it's great for recycling.
Great thing. It'd be a great. But I'm going to add in a question since you've mentioned ice cream. It's one that I've not asked for a while because you can't really do it with locals. Luca's ice cream or Derolo's ice cream?
Luca's.
Yes, Luca's.
Yes, Luca's.
I mean, nothing against Derolo's. Derolo's is lovely as well. But
yeah,
there's just something special about it. It really is.
Special. That was one of the first places that I went when I passed my driving test. Was I took my sister in the car and we went for a Luca's ice cream.
Great. It doesn't matter. Whenever we go down to Musselburgh and you go to Luca's, it doesn't matter. Even rain or shine, there's always a queue outside. That even during the pandemic, the queue's longer because there's spaces. But yeah. Always a queue. Doesn't matter what the weather's like.
Okay, I think Musselburgh, another great place to go. I mean, I spent, you know, done many an Amdram in the Brunton Theatre. My first ever show was in the Brunton Theatre.
Oh, really?
My gran answered an advert in, God, I don't know what paper it would have been, but for Mama, Musselburgh Amateur Music Association, were doing Sound of Music, and they were looking for kids. And so I went along and auditioned and got it and did that with Mama. You know, you finish the show and go for a Luca's ice cream. So Luca's all day long.
Yeah. Last question. This is a really tough one. Tonics, tea cakes, or caramel wafers?
Oh, that is the devil in question form. Oh, God. Oh, that's really hard. I mean, I love them equally. Oh, dear God.
This is always a question that people hate.
Isn't that ridiculous? Yeah. But you see, you've got the crunch of the caramel wafer, which I love. Just the layers, biting down through those layers. But soaking the marshmallow off and then having the biscuit of the tea cake. Wafer. Oh, no, tea cake. No!
It's like that.
Tea wafer.
You ever seen that bit on Friends with Joey where they're asking him if he'd rather have food or girls? He's like, food, no girls, no food, no, I want girls on bread.
Put your hands together. Yeah, oh no, I do like both of them, but I think the wafer maybe just has it for me.
Actually, this has been brilliant. Thank you so much for taking.
What a question to end on.
I know. I love finishing on that one. It's the one that everyone goes, ah! This has been brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. So it's been a proper pleasure chatting to you.
Oh, I've loved it. Yeah, it's been brilliant. Really, really great.
Thank you. Well, keep yourself safe out there.
You too. You too. And send my love to the home folk, won't you?
I will do. Thank you. That was brilliant. Genuinely brilliant. I had such a lovely time, so much fun chatting to Ashleigh. She is one of the most fun. That is one of the most fun I've ever had doing one of these Scottish Memories interviews. Ashleigh, that was so lovely. Thank you so much for sparing your time. We even found out afterwards when we were chatting that we went to the same Amdram when we were younger as well, which is just comedy value. It's a small world, it really is. But honestly, she was just genuinely absolutely brilliant. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you did, please remember to hit that subscribe button, leave us a like and leave a comment as well. But wherever you are, keep yourself happy and healthy and safe out there. Until next time, bye humans.